Are you guys ready for some March Madness Forbes Readament? We're ready to rumble, you guys. I'm ready. I'm ready to read you a book. Before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about the Readament. You're going to come home today with a pink reading log and track your minutes. You can track your minutes reading from home and reading at school. And you're going to turn this in, add up your minutes at the end. You're going to turn this in on Monday. You can't turn them in late, and we'll see who is going to win in our Readament bracket. Classes are playing against each other. So if you're in Miss Walton's class, you're playing against Mr. Knight's class. If you're in Miss Griffey's class, you're playing against Miss Worsley's class. Okay, I brought a book here I want to read to you that we can count for our minutes today since we're starting today. And it is called Swish, the slam-dunking, alley-ooping, high-flying Harlem Globetrotters. Have you guys heard of the Globetrotters? This is a good story. You're going to learn a lot. It all started with those boys thumping basketballs up and down Chicago's South Side in alleys, driveways, and parking lots. Raw talent and determination in worn-out sneakers, practicing non-stop layups, all-net free throws, and sky-high jump shots. When their team charged into Wendell Phillips High wearing those official school jerseys, every student grew an inch taller with pride. Their players were unstoppable, division champs. Everyone could see they had as much talent as the country's best hoopsters. But the top teams only recruited white players. So after graduation, those Wendell Phillips stars joined traveling teams for black players. Before long, a few players met a small man with a big dream, Abe Saperstein, who helped them form their own team, the Harlem Globetrotters. The name sounded grand, like they play all over the world. Well, not quite, but they barnstormed their way across America. Little Abe and 5 giant players, Toots Wright, Kid Oliver, Fat Long, Runt Pullins, and Andy Washington. They squeezed into an old Model T and chugged from town to town, searching for anyone who would play farmers, students, lumberjacks, any people who would pay to watch. 7 nights a week, they rode weary team-played ball, healthy, sick, or injured, and won nearly every game. But hometown fans didn't like out-of-town hotshots skunking their team. Soon, the Trotters came up with a plan. Smack in the middle of a game, each player performed a ball-handling trick while the others took a short rest. Crowds howled with delight and the surprising sight. One-finger ball spinning, rapid-fire mini dribbling, and a ricochet headshot. Suddenly, people didn't mind when the hilarious Trotters beat their team. The Globetrotters played wherever they could. Barns, basements, even the bottom of a dried-up swimming pool. The crowds laughed and cheered, but as soon as the game ended, the cheers stopped. The tired, hungry players weren't always welcomed in hotels or restaurants. They couldn't use most gas stations, restrooms, or phones. Nearly every drinking fountain wore a whites-only sign. Downhearted, yet determined, a new fire fueled their game. The Trotters would prove that all players, all people, deserve to be treated the same. With their fancy footwork, fast passes, and one-handed dunk shots, they played the most breathtaking, ground-breaking ball the country had ever seen. Years bounced by, older players retired, new ones stepped in. Goose Tatum, the clown prince, who rolled that ball across 84 inches of steel-strong arms. Marquise Haynes, a dazzling, dizzying dribbler with lightning-fast hands. And Boyd Bowie, a spectacular sharpshooter who had only one arm. With their slapstick tricks and pinpoint shots, the Trotters' game became known as the Show. They made the game look so easy. People didn't even notice their incredible talent. But this team was more than a show. They were skilled athletes, expert players, and electrifying performers, all rolled into one professionals at the game. But the professional basketball teams didn't allow black players. Determined to make people see their talent instead of their skin color, the Globetrotters challenged the best team in the National Basketball League, the mighty Minnesota Lakers. What? You could almost hear the nation gasp. A pro team play those high-flying showboats? How ridiculous. Yet the Lakers agreed. They couldn't wait to trounce the Trotters. Shivering fans lined up outside Chicago Stadium in the middle of the night darkness on February 19, 1948. People across the country slapped down sure bets, easy money, no way the Lakers could lose. They had a 6'10" giant named George Mikan. Surrounded by a raucous, record-breaking crowd, the Globetrotters jogged out in comical striped shorts, but they left their tricks behind. Tonight was straight up serious ball. Right from the start, Goose stuck to Mikan like gum on a shoe. Yet Mikan quickly scored 18 points and blocked every shot Goose put up. By halftime, the Lakers were ahead, but the Globetrotters fought back and tied the game. Right before the end of the game buzzer, the Trotters sent one last shot soaring towards the net. Swish. Globetrotters win 61-59. Without saying a word, the Trotters showed the world that players with different skin color belonged on the same court. The Lakers demanded a rematch. The win was a fluke. A year later, the team faced off again, and the Trotters won again. Now, the most popular team in America, the Globetrotters, played to sold-out stadiums and signed a Hollywood movie contract. Meanwhile, NBA teams were barely selling enough tickets to pay the bills. Frustrated team owners gathered to pick next season's recruits. One by one, they carefully considered each athlete's talent, and suddenly, their whites-only rule seemed ridiculous. Then, something incredible happened. The Celtics owner announced an astounding choice: Chuck Cooper, one of the most remarkable players he'd ever seen, and one of the Globetrotters' newest recruits. Soon, another owner declared his top picks, two more phenomenal black players. And the game was never the same. It became nonstop, give it all you got, out to win it, sky's the limit, basketball. After breaking into the NBA, the Globetrotters broke out into the world. They played in Dusty Bull Ring in Peru, in a cow pasture in New Zealand, and on a court built over barrels in Germany. The crowds were astonished by their slam dunks, alley-oops, and other high-flying surprises. They made thousands of new friends, met popes, princes, and presidents, and even sipped tea with the Queen of England. Back home, the Harlem Globetrotters were named America's Ambassadors of Goodwill. How about that? The team that brought black and white America closer together brought the world a little closer together too, and lived up to their Globetrotter name after all. All right, guys, what did you think of that story? Did you like Swish? You can check that out in the library. And you guys read almost 15 minutes with me. So good job. Keep up the read. You guys are doing awesome with Patriot Reading. Keep going and keep reading. We're going to have a great Forbes Madness Read-A-Mint month. Thanks, guys.